A whole person doesn't need praise to feel good and can manage criticism. And your ability to navigate that is really key to being successful in the world and doing what your purpose. That's what branding is about, right? It's about saying who you are authentically.
Where we are focused on pleasing people and not displeasing people, we basically become inauthentic because then we're not saying what we really mean, we're not taking a stand, we're doing the safe thing. Welcome back, Superstar. We are here with Maryanne, Courageous Communication, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper now into the topic of branding. This is something that both of us know a lot about. You've seen some of my videos on personal branding and thought leadership branding. Well, Maryanne takes that same topic as it applies to nonprofits and influencers in the nonprofit industry. So I want to get her take on it and have a conversation here about thought leadership, branding, marketing, and specifically the way she approaches it, which is courageously. So Maryanne is all about courageous communication and what it means as a nonprofit, as an individual, to take a stand for your brand. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of branding and taking a stand and being courageous in branding.
You know, I'm going to start with a story.
Okay.
So I was in my therapist's office.
I love your therapist office stories. They're my favorite.
I know.
I love your therapist, by the way. I think I need to meet her.
I know.
Anyway,
She's really cool. So this was one before her. But
Oh, okay.
Also a good one. And I was complaining to her that a friend, had sort of admonished me about, like, you always need the spotlight. You're always in, like, I don't understand. And you know when people say something to you and you can feel it, you feel the tears, you feel you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, I was so upset that she would say that to me. It obviously triggered me somehow. And I was telling my therapist and she said, well, praise and criticism are the same thing. And I was like, well, that's ridiculous because one feels really good and one feels really bad. And she said, a whole person doesn't need praise to feel good and can manage criticism. And your ability to navigate that is really key to, being successful in the world and doing what your purpose. And in that moment, and this is the true story, in that moment I thought, oh my gosh, all my clients are overly dependent on praise and terrified of criticism. And that's keeping them boring. Because if you don't stand for something, right? And if you're not willing to stand in a truth, and that actually attracts people to you. But what they see it as almost like, oh, I don't want to make anybody mad. This controversy, the C word, criticism and controversy. Like, because we're a nonprofit, so I have a lot to say about this, but we're a nonprofit, so already we're kind of like, kind of the industry that maybe doesn't feel as valid because we don't make a profit, and how our society values the health of companies is by the profit it makes. So you already kind of feel a little bit like you don't fit in, So I have to be extra exceptional and extra amazing just to kind of play evenly. And so I have to be perfect or have this perfect image. And so I just need praise. And if anybody criticizes, us, we could lose a donor, what will somebody think? Shifting that mindset to, we're here to attract like-minded people. Right? That's what branding is about, right? It's about saying who you are authentically, like vulnerably, authentically, honestly. People want authenticity. That's what, right? And when the more authentic you are as an individual, the more authentic your organization is, the more you're going to attract those like-minded people that are actually going to be your long-term stable donors, your community of support. People come for the cause, they stay for the community, right? So they're
that's a writer-downer. People come for the cause and stay for the community.
You guys can cross-stitch that. Hanging on the wall. Yeah, but they come because they're compelled by the cause, but they stay because they feel that they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And they see themselves reflected in the people around them. And that's what a strong brand does, is it, you know what I mean? It creates community, it creates connection, because we're creating it from a place of authenticity.
So let's back it up a second, because like what you're saying and what I say too, so people often, you watching this, your clients, right? My clients, everybody who's in this space of needing to influence others. What it seems happens, what you're describing, and it's similar to what I've experienced, is that people show up thinking, all right, how do I get people to buy my thing, donate to my cause, whatever. And they think, oh, the way to do that is to please as many people as possible. And that means that if I'm pleasing as many people as possible, then I cannot displease people.
Right.
And so when we live in a way, when we operate in a way in the world, in business, where we are focused on pleasing people and not displeasing people, we basically become inauthentic. Because then we're not saying what we really mean, we're not taking a stand, we're doing the safe thing. Right? And what I'm saying is too, that having a strong brand is about being willing to not please everybody and to actively displease some people. And that's why it's courageous to have a strong brand. And that's where, when we operate in this way authentically, taking a stand for our brand, putting ourselves out there truthfully, we allow some people to not be a fit. We allow people to fall away. But the people that are called to us are really loyal.
Yep.
They come for they get drawn to the cause and they stay. Thank you, Maryanne. That was juicy information, very powerful. If you're curious about learning more, I highly recommend checking out Maryanne's book, Courageous Communication. It's a great book about taking a stand for what you believe in.
What I've learned is I can make the most perfect message for you, but if you're not feeling aligned to it, if it feels scary, it's just going to fall aside. And we're going to go back to status quo.
I learned that lesson the hard way. I've worked with a lot of clients over the years, and I found I have the perfect brand for you. This messaging is totally going to hit it and people are going to love it. And I didn't get it. Back then I was like, here, do this. But it wasn't theirs.